Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first session of Ghosts in the Lost, a Monster of the Week actual play. I see Samurai and Shy and Blueberry Rogue and Concho. Awesome. Thanks, guys, for showing up. And, oh, and Kat. Hey, Kat, I see you there. Is anybody else hearing an echo potentially in stream? Cujo, you may need to mute that tab or mute the site. Okay, cool. Well, we will. Okay, awesome. So we will jump right into it with a real quick trigger warning for everybody. Ghost of the Lost is a Monster of the Week campaign, which is an action horror tabletop RPG game based on the Apocalypse game engine. This game will touch on religious trauma, cult tactics, loss, LGBTQIA identities, pagan beliefs, witchcraft, and the supernatural. There will also be times where the keeper, myself, and possibly the players exhibit behavior that looks like gaslighting. The players have tools at their disposal to ensure that they are safe both emotionally and mentally. In the event that a player lets the keeper know of a potential or an actual issue, we will adjust the story to avoid the topic. This may include pausing and retconning the scene. If you, as a viewer of the stream, start to feel uncomfortable, you are welcome to step away until you feel better. The VOD will be available both on Twitch and on my YouTube channel, should you want to go back and watch it again. Please take care of yourself and enjoy Ghosts of the Lost. So let's start with introducing our players. And we're going to start with Ark. Would you please introduce yourself and your character? Oh, and Shy's like, Ark is muted. I don't think I have. No, you should be getting audio through for Discord. Discord audio is not playing through for some reason. Give me a moment. Ah, it's looking for my call with Gene earlier. I'm sorry about that, Art. Could you try that again? Can everybody
no
hear?
problem.
Okay.
Can you all hear me now? Can you hear the lighthouse keeper? Hello, I'm Ark or Arclight Court, TTRPG game designer, Power Rangers content creator, but tonight I'm playing Vincent Iscariot, one of the 30 silver daggers of Sicarius, playing the Initiate playbook.
All right. Thank you, Ark. Jer, would you please introduce yourself and your character?
Hi, I'm Jer, and I will be playing Aaron Malakas. He is a son born from a very selfish father who wanted a little bit more than he asked for. And I will be playing the monstrous.
All right. Thank you, Jer. And Cujo. Would you
Hi,
please
everybody.
introduce yourself and your character?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I
you're
cut
good.
I'm sorry. No, that's cool. You just harry me in every stream I have, so I figured I can do this to you. No, hi. I am Cujo. My pronouns are he/him. I'll be playing Aaron Haller, a former agent of a shadowy organization that things did not go well with, and I'll be playing the Survivor playbook.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And for anybody who is looking for information about the campaign, should be able to go to that link. There will be information provided to the players, as well as some of the handouts that the players have in regards to information about the campaign. We will be playing, as I mentioned, Monster of the Week, which is based on the Apocalypse engine. So instead of players needing to have a whole gambit of dice, they will be rolling 2d6. And based on those results from those dice, they will get to do certain things in the story. And with that, I think we're going to do the reverse order for getting our players started here. I will also be referring to our characters as their character names while we are playing. So pay attention to that. Aaron with an A. What are you doing right now?
Aaron is probably just getting home from a run through the city. Aaron stands at 6 foot. He's got sort of wavy, curly brown hair, a little bit of a goatee, several tattoos that sort of cover his arms. And he's got his earbuds in, and he comes back into his apartment, which is quite large, but he makes do. It's clear that there were some areas that once belonged to somebody else that have since been repurposed. Nothing quite feels right in his home. But he comes home to his cat, Bailey. He's making sure that she's fed. And he's probably going to try to sit and journal something to help him as this last bit of time has not been the easiest. It is something that his therapist has recommended, so he has been consistently doing so. He probably picks up one of probably 3 journals filled from cover to cover to start writing a new entry.
Okay. As you sit down to start writing in your journal, your phone starts to ring. You look at the caller ID, and it comes back with unlisted, restricted. Tell me what's going through your mind.
There's only one reason that a call would come through under a restricted number, and that would mean that it's most likely the TIA. And so as he's looking at the phone, his heart drops. And he'd probably let it ring out at first, just to almost convince himself like maybe it was a misdial, and see what happens next.
It rings out. A few moments pass, and then it starts to ring again.
He'll pick up the phone, but he won't answer it just yet. He'll like feel that surge of energy, and he'll kind of pace around his room before he finally clicks the answer button and just holds the phone up to his ear. He doesn't say anything.
Hello, Aaron. Long time no chat.
They got you on phone duty? That's weird.
Hmm. Well, the other administrators thought it'd be best if I handled this.
You've been promoted. Good for you. That's real good news. Um, what do you what do you need?
Oh well. We've run into a little bit of an issue in your neck of the woods, as it would be. It was against my wishes to bring you back into this, but unfortunately, the situation is rather dire. And then I told them, definitely not. But we are up against the proverbial wall, so we need your assistance. Do you still visit that coffee shop down the road?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Um, how many are in the team?
We'll see what I can get. But let's meet there in, say, 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah. I will. I will. I'll get ready, and I'll be there in a couple hours.
And Aaron, fate does not often knock twice. I'm glad you took this call. And with that, we leave Aaron with an A and go to Aaron with an E. What are you doing right now?
So Aaron is hunched over on his laptop. He's staying with a couple of friends right now, and he's on the couch. Lights are dark. He buzzed his hair a couple days ago because he thought that it was a distraction from what he was really wanting to focus on, which was trying to find out what happened to his parents.
Okay. As Aaron is sitting, poring over his laptop, you hear a voice of a person standing right behind you. Aaron,
Who's there?
just a moment. Sorry.
Tell them I said hi.
You just hear your name being called initially. Aaron.
I would turn at first to see if anyone was there. I would assume that it was a friend.
You turn around, and nobody is directly behind you.
That's weird. I thought I heard somebody say my name.
As you turn back around, there is a man standing before you in a black collared shirt, black pants, slender, about 6'2", we'll say. Very militaristic haircut. We can help you find out what happened to your parents.
Who are you? They didn't introduce me to you when I first moved in. Why are you in this house? And how do you know about my parents?
Oh, we've been watching you for a while. You know of us. You've read up about it. I represent TIA.
I've heard of that. I just. How long have you been watching me?
Mm, that's not important. But what I will say is we can help you if you're willing to help us.
Well, how would you help me? I mean, uh, you just showed up in my living room and you expect me to just trust you?
Have you had any luck with anybody else?
I guess not. What would you need me to do?
We're trying to put together a team to investigate something. It would give you a chance to make a difference in the world. You might learn more about what's going on. But I will warn you, once this door opens, you can't close it again.
I don't know if I trust you, but I've been wanting to know what happened with my parents, and if this is what it takes to finally find the truth, I, I guess I'll help.
All right. Meet here at this address at this time. And he slips you a piece of paper, and as you look down at it, do you have anything that you want to say? Okay. You look down at it, and by the time you look back up, the man in black is gone.
I don't know how to feel about this, but maybe this will lead me somewhere, finally.
Okay. And with that, we jump to Vincent. Please tell us what you're doing.
Vincent is sitting in the third pew from the back in a nearly completely empty small church in one of the boroughs in New York. It's quiet, peaceful, but if the camera moved towards his face, there's dark circles around his eyes, bright green. His head, it looks like it was shaved by someone who didn't think he deserved to have hair. It's not completely down to the like bald skin. You can see there's some raised parts, like it was done in some kind of penance or to observe something. Uh, and he just has his head leaned back, looking up at one of the stained glass windows, just waiting.
What are you waiting for?
They wouldn't have let me be awake this early unless there was something they needed me to do.
Okay. And as you contemplate that, You hear the sound of footsteps walking towards you down through the pews, making a direct line, or as a direct line as they can make towards you.
He'll break his view of the stained glass and just let his head slowly look down to whoever is walking towards him.
Vincent, I presume?
Yes.
Your sect has a operational contract with our organization. They recommended you assist us with a little matter.
And what are we getting out of this?
Your organization? The usual. You in particular? The answers to the questions you don't dare ask out loud.
Want to I want to read a bad situation.
Okay.
This person apparently knows things about me that nobody should. That is a 7.
Okay. So you can ask one question to try and get a feel as to how they would know these questions or know these things about you.
They've already said they're working with my organization.
We have a
I
contract.
guess my more pressing matter is this person in particular, the person in front of me, a threat, considering all of my training?
To you, no.
Okay. I'll stand up. And where exactly am I going?
He hands you a slip of paper with an address and a time. And what do you do once you get that piece of paper? Do you have any questions or something to say?
I have one question. Do I need to hurt people?
Depends on your definition of a person.
I like that answer. Let me grab a few things. And he'll get up, put on this, like, almost duster jacket, stops right at the knees. So is it just me?
I'm trying to put together a team. But as I'm sure you're aware, there seems to be a shortage of capable individuals right now. And with that, we're actually going to take a quick momentary break. as we bring in one of our other players here. So we'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Wow. It did screw up
Hey,
the.
Discord.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll fix everybody's video here real quick.
All good.
Sorry.
Nope. It's just Discord being Discord. It would not be a first stream if there were not technical difficulties.
Yep. Every single time.
Exactly. There's no avoiding it.
Yep.
There's no avoiding it. And audio balancing will always be a problem. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Yep. Discord's awesome. Just fixing everybody's video live on stream. We'll do it
Hi,
live.
stream.
We edit
How's
this in
everybody
post. You're good.
Hi, stream.
Alright. Oh. That alt key, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Shy, there is no such thing.
I think you put me under the wrong Aaron, though. I'm looking
I know,
at it right now.
I know. I'm working on it. I was fixing.
We just, yeah.
It's like, which Aaron?
Live commentary while we fix over
Comedy of errors.
Yep.
Oh, that's why. That's part of the reason. I'm just gonna leave it. I was like, why are we all
Uh-oh.
off? It's because I've got the chat open on the side here.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
That box, though, getting bigger and smaller. Just saying. It's, I don't know what I'm
Calm
saying,
down,
but
Cujo.
that's an observation I just made.
Calm down.
That should keep me in frame now.
There you go.
Blood sacrifice to the blood gods, said Shy. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Let's get spicy.
And
It's
you
Sunday
realize
night.
your chair's too cold for your computer.
And fix that. There we go.
There
I think
it is.
everybody's in the right spot.
Yes.
We will
Oh,
be
you put me under the
using-
wrong Aaron. I'm just kidding.
Nice try.
That's actually Sharon.
I've changed my name from Aaron with an A to Aaron with 4 eyes.
It's actually instead of Aaron, it's Karen. I need
Yeah.
you to put a K.
I
And
need you to fix this.
don't lowercase that first A. It's Karen.
It's important.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for bearing with me while I fix things all at once.
I am back. I am so sorry about that.
You are good. We are streaming.
Oh,
Yep. I will unmute, or you can unmute yourself in the meet. All right. So we come back to Aaron with an A sitting inside this coffee shop that he has been asked to meet at.
Aaron is probably like walking back and forth, like he can't sit still. He is looking for literally any excuse, any sort of thing to happen where he can be pulled away from the coffee shop, but when it's so mundane and everything's sort of routine, he gets a little bit more anxious. It's like, he's looking for that escape just
Okay.
so he doesn't have to see him.
Hmm. As you perform your 5th or 6th, you've lost count, loop of the coffee shop, you see a tall man in a black shirt, black pants, military haircut, up at the counter ordering a drink. You don't hear what he orders, but you already know what he's ordering. You've ordered that with your drink hundreds of times before.
I think the moment that Aaron sees him, that he feels everything like freeze. He feels his heart stop. He feels his blood run cold. And almost like he's maybe like he shouldn't even be looking at him. He averts his eyes and just looks anywhere else.
All right. Do you attempt to leave the coffee shop? Or do you just stand there waiting?
He knows that if he attempts to leave, he's just going to get another call. It's just going to make things worse. So he will just stay standing until the inevitable conversation happens.
Okay. You see the man nonchalantly, doesn't even make eye contact with you. He just starts walking towards you, carrying his drink. You look well, Aaron.
Don't. Sorry. Just So who's all coming?
Well, unfortunately, as you might have guessed, because we tapped you, we don't have anybody in the agency available.
You had to outsource.
Yeah. So you will be leading this team because you're the one that knows.
I don't think that's a good idea. With all due respect, I've done a lot of work to move on, and
With all due respect, I agree. But the situation and the other administrators need you.
do you have their files at least?
Yeah. And he hands you the files for Vincent and Aaron and Sharon. That last one, they're a tricky one to track down. We might be having some luck, though.
It might help if you don't show up like a fucking ghost every so often.
What's the purpose of being an administrator if you don't make use of things?
Okay. That's fine. It's fine. There's a table we can use to discuss what the plan is and what's going on.
Okay. And as we go to the table, we see that Vincent enters in to the coffee shop. And Vincent sees the tall man in black. What does he do?
Vincent's carrying almost like a military duffel bag, but the like smaller travel sized one. It's kind of slung to his back. He looks bigger than his face or his hands outside of his clothing would denote. Underneath his black button-up shirt, a long jacket, seeing the man that he spoke with probably just a few days ago. He just walks right towards them.
Okay. The administrator sees you and flags you, even though you're walking this way. And he turns to Aaron with an A and says, "That one's Vincent. You may want to keep an eye on him, especially with some of the contacts that we have."
I'm well aware of who Sicarius is. Connor, I got it.
It doesn't hurt to remind. And Vincent, as you come in over to the table, do you sit down or do you stay standing? What do you do?
Is the table near like a wall itself? Like one side of the table's pressed against a wall?
We'll say that based on Aaron's training, he's picked a table that has two walls facing out towards the window. So you have two walls, and then the back of the table will look out towards the street through the window.
I'll take the wall that has me facing the administrator, like
Okay.
standing behind Aaron's back.
Okay. Oh, thank you for coming. Punctual.
Is there any other way to be?
I guess not for you.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I'll be team lead.
You'll be calling the shots then.
Looks like it. Aaron adopts this like professional mask, like that smile that's like, I acknowledge that you're there, and that's about it. Before he takes a seat.
Vincent's gonna reach into one of the pockets inside the jacket and put 2 silver coins in front of you.
You want me to ask first, or are you just going to explain?
If anything happens, just make sure I can pay my toll.
Sure. And he'll whisk the silver coins into his pocket.
Okay. And with that, Aaron with an E comes walking in.
Hi. Is this the right place?
Yeah. Yeah, feel free to take a seat.
Okay.
I'm Aaron, by the way, which is not going to be confusing or anything.
I bet I am the better Aaron. Hope that joke does not get me in trouble later.
As you have probably put together, we haven't had quite a lot of luck finding a lot of extra people.
Yeah, I gathered. And there's another file here for Sharon.
Yes. As the administrator, Connor looks down at his watch. Sharon comes busting into the coffee shop. And Jean, go ahead and introduce yourself and your character, what they look like,
Hello,
and then
everyone. I'm Gene Wolfire. You can find me under that on Instagram and Twitch, although I haven't really started my channel yet. But I'll be playing Sharon, our resident spell slinger. Sharon is about 5'6". She has this really rich auburn curly hair that hangs in these really tight ringlets. And probably what you'll notice most is she tends to wear a lot of reds and blacks. But you'll see she has on a black tank top with this red leather jacket and these black slacks. And you would think she'd wear a more practical shoe, but no, they're a good 6-inch heel that she's just busting around in. And as she bursts in, you just see her walk over to the pickup counter, grab a drink, and head on over. Walks past the booth where the men are gathered and slips a card onto the table and actually sits at the booth behind them and pretends to be on her phone. And you'd hear through the card, "Could it be any more obvious, Jeebus?"
You know, it's a fair point, Connor. Couldn't have picked a more conspicuous spot.
covertness at this point may be moot in a few days.
Also, this is going to get really fun.
That's definitely one way to look at it. And as he says that, and as Vincent makes that comment, he produces some files for you all to review. And for those in chat that would like to review those files, you can find them on the campaign page at the bottom. Or follow that link and you'll see the documents that the party or the team is getting, specifically talking about an event that was recorded the night before, actually early morning, regarding the precog group experiencing what would be the equivalent of a supernatural night terror, to the extent that it actually killed one of the precogs. There was a review done for the dreams that the precogs had. And it was like watching through scrambled cable the dreams. And you would see people phase in and out from the dreams. But we were able to gather a few things. which is why we're here. Chicago apparently is going to be a point where something at the level of world-altering supernatural event. We've had to pull in connections from several different organizations, including WH13. As he reaches down and pulls out another package and sets it on the table in front of you, Aaron.
What's in it?
In it is a manifest regarding the items that WH13 has provided to you. Those items include the journals of John White, a copy of a rub from a lost Mayan ruin, along with the photos surrounding the area of the Mayan ruins, dog tags from a POW recovered after an interrogation, a decoder ring from A Christmas Story, copy of Bernstein Bears, a book that was a remnant from an alternate timeline, a notebook from a reporter covering the War of the Worlds as it actually happened, and a fragment of the steel beam from the Twin Towers. WH13 asks that you return these items after the investigation. If they get destroyed, I will leave it to you to file the Form 17A with them.
Well, Connor, that would imply that I am under TIA payroll. And I don't know that I've achieved that level again yet.
We'll see.
Okay, well. So, what? You look at this precog report and think that something world altering is going to happen in Chicago, and instead of calling in the cavalry, you call me in, and you call in connections from other agencies.
We already tried sending a team in, but as you know, we're short-staffed for various reasons.
Can I make a roll to verify that? Like, if he's being honest?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Which would that be?
You could do a read a bad situation.
Okay. I should have the whole damn rule book up. Do I? No. That would mean that I'm prepared. And
It's
okay.
plus sharp.
Sharp. Thank you. That is
Well,
a 5.
That is a fail, so make sure you mark the experience. And for people in the chat, the way that Monster of the Week works is that if you fail a roll, you get to mark experience. That's one of the many ways that you gain experience. And with that, you can level up and gain stats and abilities based on level. Every person's got different levels or different opportunities to gain experience. And so it's a bit faster to level up than, say, D&D.
Okay. Where do we start then?
Well, we've got a few leads. You've got Dominic, who you may remember from the Midnight Society. And you'll see this show up in your notebooks, by the way, on Roll20. You'll see people's names show up. You've also got Detective Paul Whitlow at the Chicago PD. And then, of course, if you need to reach out to me, Aaron, you know how to get a hold of me.
Aaron's going to feel just a slight bitterness in the back of his throat at that last little line. But he's not going to say anything. He'll just say, we could divide and conquer. Some of us go chat with Dominic. Others go chat with the Chicago PD.
Do you
Who here's good with cops?
I'm great with them. Especially if it's going to be in the city. Most of them go to church. Or say they do.
Are you sure it's wise to split the group? I should warn you. We lost contact with the original group that we sent in.
Everybody fancy a visit to church? Yeah, go ahead, Sharon.
Sorry. And whereabouts did you lose contact?
Which one are you going to go visit?
I got an idea. If I'm not stepping on any toes here, and he looks between Aaron and Connor back and forth. We have a phone number for this detective.
I'll say yes. You've got his contact information.
So invite him to a bar. 2 birds, 1 space. Everybody can be together.
Not a bad plan. Great. Well, Connor, thank you so much for the information. We'll go ahead and report in whenever we have an update.
I got one more. Where are we working out of? What's our operations base? Where's our safe house? What are we?
I've prepared my apartment as a safe house.
Oh, so place people already know you live at.
Sorry. Sicarius, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a fancy basement in a church to hang out in just on hand. I kind of have to make do with what I can in my retirement. So, with all due respect...
But if TIA is fronting the bill for Sicarius to be involved...
Nobody knows that Aaron lives there.
Aaron's going to speak up here, and you'll hear, as she speaks through the card, you'll hear her say, I have several safe houses throughout the city we can run to if we need to run to ground.
Thank you.
Great. Great start. So, any other updates, Administrator?
Well, there may be some other items that have been delivered to your apartment. It took the liberty of... Do you think that would have mattered?
It would have made me feel better.
but I took the liberty of providing you some of your old equipment.
Great.
Should things get physical.
Cool. Well, what time of day is it?
It's still early in the day. You're looking at probably about 10 a.m.
Well, I doubt that detective, who's probably still on duty, is going to want to visit a bar until the evening. So we have some of the day to do some research.
And check out the equipment.
Okay.
So, any other questions, comments, things to bitch about?
Yeah. And Vincent will like point towards Aaron. The kid? You good with all this?
Aaron will look to Aaron for a response.
Well, I've been asked to come here for a reason. The administrator obviously thinks that I have some way that I could help. So it doesn't really matter if you're okay with it, if he's okay with it.
No, I'm asking if you're okay with it.
Well, he's very defensive.
Sharon's gonna speak up and interrupt. Sorry. She says, as the one person I trust, I know you've got this. And even if you have your own personal reasons, I'm gonna see you through.
Oh, so you guys... Okay. Making a bit more sense here.
I would look to Sharon and give her kind of like a look of gratitude for coming into the rescue for me.
All right. Well, with that, I will leave you to it. As Aaron walks, or not Aaron, see, now I'm doing it. Connor.
If there's a third Aaron in this game, I'm pretty sure the computers are going to explode.
Please.
It
please.
also
Aaron,
like
Aaron, I don't think we've planned this out very well.
Yeah.
Aaron, A, Ren, RN.
All right. So with that, Connor goes to walk out, and he does head in that direction, but as you see him walk out, you would expect to see him walk in front of one of the windows. He never shows up.
The moment he leaves, there's a visible... There's this sigh and the weight that lifts.
Oh, so all of that was because of him.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You're good. I don't like dealing with other people either, but there's something that you guys are connected. These two are connected. I'm guessing I'm just here to do the bloody work. So.
I wasn't a part of the talent scout, if that helps at all. So I appreciate you being here anyway.
Yeah. I don't like that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't either. So.
If nobody else claims it, and he'll reach into the box that we had received, and he grabs the fragment of the steel beam. So, from there. So I'll take this one. Conducts it.
Anybody else want to pick one of these objects to research?
Without getting up from her booth, the Berenstain book is already missing from the box.
All right.
Your place. I'll call the detective. I guess you know the bartender or have had connections with them.
Yeah, about that. You specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna politely ask if when we meet this bartender that you not go all shooty, stabby, stabby.
Is information about the bartender in the
No,
folder?
no.
No.
Just a name that he's seen some things and he has information that he may be willing to share.
Are you telling me they're like my favorite kind of dance partner?
So there is a Mayan rubbing here. He's just like quickly changing the subject, hoping that they'll take the bait.
Don't walk away from it.
As Sharon just says, don't hurt my favorite informant. He keeps me alive.
Not hurting anybody. You're in charge, right?
Yeah.
They're my favorite kind of dance partner, right?
Yeah.
And you keep them under control. If they start to dance with other people, then I'll step in.
I'll take that. Okay. So, why don't we relocate to some place a little bit less, I believe Sharon said, conspicuous? My apartment, which doesn't really help, but and we can sort of come up with a game plan from there. Does that work?
Yeah.
All right. Aaron will lead sort of the walk, essentially down the block. Like it's not far away.
Okay.
Vincent's already upset at that. All immediately upset with this. He's like, I'm going in 20 minutes later. I'm not walking in the same time you guys are walking in. This is absurd. This is ridiculous.
I didn't pick the spot, man.
I can imagine like Aaron is just like hiding behind Sharon, like, okay, I'm following you now.
And Sharon does like grabs a newspaper and the classic tale without trying to be noticed, as she just like occasionally looks up to see if she sees any symbols on sides of buildings and just keeps one eye on the peripheral and one on Aaron as she just follows him at a distance.
Anything happen on the way to my apartment, Keeper?
No, you make it to your apartment just fine. For Vincent, nobody's following you. Nobody seems suspicious.
Before I go inside as the last person, go into the bag and I grab it's a little glass container that is essentially holy water and olive oil. He shakes it up really quick, puts it under the little floor mat that leads into the apartment, and then just stomps on it so it coats the floor right in front of the doorway going in.
Okay.
Welcome. It's not much, but it's home. I brought out some of the old cots that we used to use for when we had work to do. The bathroom's in the back. Hopefully nobody's allergic to cats. There's
Cats
some
are
books.
great.
Oh, thank you. There's some books in case you get bored. Make yourself at home, I guess.
Vincent drags a cot like 3 feet from the front door.
At the mention of a cat, Aaron's cat kind of peeks out and starts to rub up against Aaron's leg. Aaron with an A.
I'll pick Bailey up and hold her like a baby because, of course, she's a cat. She needs that. Like, just like immediately to business while holding this fluffy cat. So, what are everybody's specialties?
I'll go last. I want to hear everybody else's stuff.
As the leader of the group, shouldn't you go first?
Okay, well, you know what? Disembodied voice, that's a little rude too soon.
Bailey, I didn't know you could talk. You're even more awesome.
Sabrina, the teenage witch. No,
Hey, that's my title.
yeah. I'm sort of, I guess a glue. More just support, really. Sort of an everyman. I can patch you up in case things get a little rough. Make sure people are in tip-top shape as best I can. I've got some moderate combat experience. I don't really ever know how to answer that question, mostly because I'm still confused on why they keep calling me in for missions. But before it comes up, I am retired. I got called in for this specifically. So if I'm a little rusty, please just give me a little bit of a break. It's been a bit. So that's me.
Go ahead and call in somebody else.
Sharon.
My specialty is magic. Mostly combative, but I've been able to learn a few other areas here and there. But my other specialty is underground networking. And she'll nod over to Aaron and say, "Last I checked, you were still with the group. What happened?" Yes.
E?
Aaron with an E or Aaron with an A?
Aaron with an E.
Well, I was with the group, but they started accusing me of acting different, and I never knew what they really meant. So they told me to go away, and like I've just been living with my friends for the meantime. I still have that thing you made me.
I taught them better. Maybe I'll have to return with a vengeance.
They were right to be afraid. I don't think it was out of anger. I think it was out of fear. I just wish I understood what they meant.
Well, what's your thing? What do you do? What's your skills?
Well, from my experience with Sharon, she was able to teach me some basic combative magic, but most of what I can do, I only hear from others because I don't remember.
Look at Aaron.
Yes.
And what do we know of what they do since they don't remember?
We know that Connor, in his infinite wisdom, thought that the kid could be useful. And despite our strained connection, I have faith in him. So whatever happens, happens, and we'll figure it out as we go.
Okay.
I will vouch and say he can handle his own. But I will say, don't be in his way.
I don't exactly know how to take that. Vincent will then, with Velcro patches on it, affix a handgun to the inside of the front door, right underneath the peephole, and starts walking around the apartment, putting random things out of the little duffel bag that he has. I'm Vincent, of an agency known as Sicarius. We are vampire hunters. That's what we do. That's it. No extra pieces, no Bogman, no Wraiths, no Banshees, no Bigfoot, no Loch Ness, none of that. Vampires. That's it. There's only ever 30 of us at any point in time. So we're all pretty good at what we do because we've been doing it for a while. And he's leaving like a small knife between two books on the counter in the kitchen. He's wedged like a steel cable, like a grabbing cable, inside one of the drawers in the bathroom, and is just walking around leaving something in every room for people to have access to. Also opens his hand and a small radiant light takes form in the center of it. So we got a lot of this on the team, apparently. Which seems like a good thing. Maybe that's why they got us all together, because that might be what fixes it. Whatever this is, I don't know the things that do this. I don't know the people involved in it. I'll handle the messy work if needed. That's what I do.
Well, sounds like your contractors are really asking you to branch out, aren't they?
Now we get guaranteed information on the next coven.
Well, all that sounds great. Keeper, you mentioned that Connor had left something
Yes.
in my apartment.
All of your equipment that was related for TIA. So your old uniform, your old equipment that you had for your weapons and things like that.
The uniform. It has been cleaned.
Yes,
Yeah?
it has been cleaned.
Aaron's going to try to just swallow that memory that pops up. Just take a second to do that before he starts unpacking everything. And similar to what Vincent has done, Aaron goes around to the correct spots and positions the equipment the way that it needs to.
Oh no, we
Like-
get messy over here.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing left behind on the things we attack, so we're good.
He basically takes the pistol that has been velcroed to the door, rips the velcro off, and puts a magnet on there and attaches a magnet to the gun and like slams it down on the wall and glares at Vincent. Less messy.
But I
Just
can.
kind of
And he pulls the tab off, like the separating tab, and opens up the trench coat and shows how it can stick to the inside of his trench coat. Utility.
so weird. And he's gonna open his hoodie and there's just a holster. I'll zip back up. So, why don't we all pick one of these objects, look over the reports, and whatever means we have, why don't we dive in before we decide to take a trip to a bar tonight? Aaron, not to assume, you are of age, right? We don't have to get you a fake ID?
I am. I am 23.
Okay, cool. So, make sure.
Yeah.
Aaron's worried about getting his deposit back for the apartment.
I mean, listen, I'm not paying for it, but I'll take the deposit if they offer.
I mean, if we need fake IDs, I know a few people.
I'm glad we're not meeting a cop. Where's your phone?
Oh, this one?
No,
And-
he's pointing at Aaron.
Which Aaron?
The one whose apartment I've been planting weapons in.
That sentence, though. He'll point to a cordless landline and then gesture with his own, like, Nokia cell phone.
All right. Go over to the phone. I'm immediately calling the detective.
Okay. You call the number for the detective. And you're greeted with a voicemail.
Right before it starts, I look over it. I look at the file real quick. Detective Whitlow, hello. This is Brother Vincent from the All Faith Church here in Chicago. We noticed that we hadn't seen you in attendance the last couple of weeks. We know that you're working diligently to keep the city and many of the people who live in it safe. We noticed some issues with vandalism occurring at the church, but we don't want any of the officers coming by to scare away any of the less than fortunate who are sleeping nearby. If you would be so kindly to meet one of our pastors at this bar, and he'll give the name of the bar.
Mm.
It's a place he's going to be there, basically, saying a few prayers over people as they continue on with their nightly festivities, but he'll be able to give you more information on the things that are happening. Would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. And feel free to call us back here at this phone number. And he's like,
Oh, and yeah.
and gives the phone number.
After several seconds of hearing Vincent attempt to vamp, he'll finally give the phone number so the message can finish.
And then hangs up. And we know the detective will be there now.
Good call. All right. I want to take a look at that Mayan ruin, Rubbing.
Okay. And we're actually going to do that after we get back. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
So 5-10 minutes. We'll say 10 minutes for everybody to go use the restroom, do the human things, as Ark likes to say. Get some water, rub your ears. So we will see you all back in about 10 minutes. Thank you all. We did have to lose Jer. He's got some real life stuff that is coming up. So we will continue on and catch up with him in another session. All right, cool. You're back in center. I was like, you're off the center there, Sharon. Thank you,
Sweet.
everybody.
Okay.
All right. So who's taking what items? We already know Vincent took the shard from the two towers.
And Sharon already took the Berenstain Bears in the coffee shop.
Mm-hmm. So which
I'll
one?
take the rub from Lost Mayan Ruins.
All right. And what other item? Because that's separate than the...
Yeah.
Oh,
The artifacts are protection from memory modification. The 1X
Oh.
ones.
Got it. John White's journals.
Okay. And how about we go through on how everybody's going to research these items? And I'll start from the top. Vincent, what are you going to do to kind of learn more about this artifact that you have?
Being the time frame that we're in, this isn't very far off of an event compared to the others. So for Vincent, it'll just be a phone call from his cell phone to the Sicarius Church.
Okay. What's that phone call going to entail?
Whoever answers, he gives, a dagger in the back as the code. And
Okay.
then once he's sent over to whoever is in the bunker, I need to know about steel fragments from the 9/11 incident.
Do you want the official report? Or what we suspect happened?
I'm pretty sure everybody knows the official report, but I want to know what we have on it.
There appears to have been accelerant added on the mid floors.
Documents that I got from TIA state that these have some kind of property to protect from memory modification. What do we know on that?
Unfortunately, the TIA has not shared a lot of information regarding this. Most likely because they get those items from another third source.
Okay.
I can look into it, but the warehouse is rather tight-lipped on things with us.
Do you have a contact I could reach out to from the warehouse?
I can get you in contact with a Mr. Nielsen.
Nielsen. Through the phone, or have them meet me in person?
Artie doesn't typically do in person for meetings with our group.
appreciate it.
I will get you his number.
Thank you.
He rattles off the number for you. A hell of a time to start choking on my energy drink, by the way.
I was like, wow.
It's in character. In
Yep.
character. He's having a coughing fit.
Stayed in character. Oh, you got some bots.
Yay, bot.
We're gonna just why is it not letting me take care of this from within this? Oh, I hate this interface.
I got you.
I appreciate that.
In that time frame of me doing this, I'm gonna call that Mr. Nelson.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
I've made it. Yo, I got bots. You make the phone call and you hear what sounds like you're not quite sure. You almost think it sounds like a dinosaur in the background. What
Mr.
is it?
Nelson?
Yeah, this is Artie.
How's it going? I'm filling out a form 17A for you for items that were given to the TIA. But there's a portion on the bottom of it that states I need to include the properties and where the properties came from. This is a steel beam fragment from the 9/11 incident. All I know is that it protects from memory modification, but I need to know the properties.
How the hell? How did you?
I'm with Sicarius. I'm doing an assignment for TIA.
Okay. How did you destroy the steel fragment? Those fragments.
I didn't.
Okay. 17A is for destroyed destroyed artifacts.
Yes, it was destroyed. I'm filling out the form like they asked me to, but there's a portion down here that says I need to list the properties.
Aaron is at his desk, like a few feet away, like, could have told you that.
Well, I'm gonna have to give you a call back. I'm a little busy right now. As you hear another screech from a
Screeching in the background.
yeah.
Well, then this form's not going to get in on time, so I hope this isn't an issue.
Aaron holds out his hand for the phone.
And what group did you say you were from?
Sicarius.
I sent those off to the TI.
I'm on an assignment for the TIA. I was contracted.
Jesus Christ, give me the damn phone and I will get you the information that you need.
Yeah, well, I will get back to you shortly. And you hear him just cry out as he falls over something on the other end of the line.
Talk to you soon, Artie. And then hang up looking at Aaron.
Okay.
Productive.
More information than you got so far. Why not? He'll swing the little metal piece in front of you like...
All right.
I always knew
Sharon.
Sicarius douches were assholes.
How are you investigating your artifact?
The book.
Mm-hmm.
Sharon is actually going to pull out her phone, boot
Okay.
it up, and wait for the Singular logo to go away.
Okay.
And then she's going to call her sister Miranda.
All right.
And when Miranda picks up, before Miranda can even get a word out, Sharon will say, "Hey, Miranda, you're pregnant, right? I have a book I was thinking of getting of the Berenstain Bears. Do you know anything about them, if that's an appropriate age group?"
What are you talking about? It's not. Why are you pronouncing it that way? It's Bears.
That's how it's spelled, right?
No, it's the Berenstain Bears.
And you're sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. I'll put it back. It's obviously a fake. And she's gonna hang up.
You gonna interrupt her phone call too?
No, she's not calling somebody who's a direct contractor with the TIA. She's calling a librarian.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Hmm.
And what do you do with that information, Sharon?
Well, Sharon's going to stare at the book and walk over to Aaron. Could I borrow your computer?
Sure. It's not like I was doing anything on it. Sure.
And she's going to pull up just a generic search page and type in
Alta Vista.
Berenstain Bears and see if anything pops up in the search.
Keep in mind, this is 2005 internet.
Of course, I expect like Encyclopedia 97 or something like that.
Well, Google doesn't have indexes of everything quite yet. But you do find some conspiracy websites that claim that that book is from an alternate timeline, something you already knew.
Mhm.
And that any items from a Mandela effect are actually from alternate timelines that have collided with our timeline and have lost. And those are the only fragments left from that destroyed timeline.
Okay. Sharon's just gonna close out the internet browser and think, okay, all set. And she's just gonna go over and sit by the counter to the kitchen.
Okay. Do you read the book?
Sharon pretends to read the book. She's actually flipping through her business cards and placing some of them between the pages. Maybe a glimpse here or there, but she's not actually paying attention to the book itself. She's more paying attention to specific placements of the cards within the book.
Okay. Very good. And Aaron.
I'm going to read through those journals, and if there are any dates mentioned, given that this is supposed to be the only evidence of people remembering what happened, at the same time, he's going to try and look on his computer for any historical events from, like, maybe a year beforehand.
Okay. So John White was the town leader of the Roanoke colony. They had taken over an abandoned fort. And they had gone back to, or John White had gone back to England to restock on supplies. And what should have been a total of 8 months turnaround, you find out due to political turmoil in England at the time, ended up taking them 3 years to get back. And you see or read through this journal of a man who blames himself for the loss of all the people that were in that colony. And he ends up dedicating the rest of his life trying to make sure that those people are remembered and to find out what happened to them.
Any additional research time that he would devote to looking up anything on the Croatoan, that
Okay.
word that was...
So, the Croatoan was the name of a town, essentially a village for Native Americans. And historians suspect that the people of the Roanoke colony had fled and joined the village of Native Americans. But history does not show any evidence of that.
Do we have any... Well, does Aaron have any connections with maybe an old mage with the TIA?
He would still have some connections, yes.
He is going to try to call one of them.
Okay. Which department?
Huh. Specifically like scrying,
Okay, so magical location.
magical location, divination, that sort of thing.
Okay. You still have a contact in the divination department named Sam.
Okay. He's like staring at his phone, like trying to hype himself up a little bit.
Mm.
Okay. And he'll dial the number.
You, at first, don't hear anybody on the other end. You hear it picked up, but you at first don't hear anybody on the other end. And you actually hear it as if somebody's holding a phone very close to their chest as they're possibly moving. And then you hear in a hushed tone, "What do you want?"
I need your help.
A lot of people need my help right now. What's going on?
We're talking like a world-altering event possibly going down in Chicago in the coming days. I need any information you have on the Croatoan.
Okay.
Do I hear Aaron say Croatoan?
Well, yeah. I mean, he wouldn't be like holding back on it. Listen, I know that you sometimes are able to look into the past, and I need a favor. I need you to see if you can scry to about 6 months before these journals started. Just anything. if anything comes up.
Give me an hour.
Okay. And if you get in trouble, just blame me.
Have you not heard we're already in trouble?
What's going on?
We're short-staffed. You know this.
Well, yeah, but I've been out of the game for a little bit here. I don't know the specifics of why you're short-staffed.
We just don't have the people.
Sam, listen.
I'm legitimately telling you, we don't have the people.
Okay, I get that, but that's also a very vague statement. When I was there was almost too many people in each unit. Now you're bare bones. What happened?
I don't know.
All right. If you could do this for me, I would owe you big time.
All right. Like I said, give me an hour.
Okay. Thanks. And I'll hang up the phone.
All right.
I think I'm finding some crossover.
Just a heads up, everybody. My internet apparently is having a little bit of issue. We've got a storm going on, and my upload bandwidth is taking a dump. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You're good.
Okay. Hopefully,
Stream's still coming in at source.
Okay. Cool. Just wanted to make sure we're good.
All right. Cool.
So now that you all have spent some time investigating your items, is there anything you want to discuss with one another?
Yeah. Said Croatoan.
Yeah. It's in the journals. You know, the books that Connor gave us to read that pertain to what we're doing, you know.
Yeah, the ones you've had since we left the coffee shop. There's some crossover here between the two groups.
Okay.
There was, past tense was, powerful vampire. Stated to have been in that area around 1459 by the name of Vernai.
Okay. And this Vernai is readily available for contact? I noticed that past tense.
Past tense. There was, until more documents and things were made apparent, it was initially theorized that Vernai was the reason behind the Croatoan disappearance. That vampire had changed all 121 of the settlers. It was later disproven. It was later acknowledged that one would not have been possible in the time frame that this took place in. And also Vernai was confirmed, removed from the settlement, and sent to where they deserved to be, roughly about 2 weeks before the disappearances had occurred.
Sharon, I'm not too brushed up with my magic. I don't suppose there's any means of contacting the dead, is there?
It's a little complicated, but it's possible.
Okay, well.
Hard part. We're talking about a soulless being. There isn't anything to contact.
Here's the thing you learn about being in the underground: even the soulless have remnants.
By all means.
The pompousness is just top notch. Thank you.
From the church.
Okay. Well, if you were aware of this person, then that meant that maybe there are other vampires who were spawns of Verni. Maybe others who didn't get put to where they belong, as you so eloquently put. Do you know if there are any direct spawn of Verni that are still around?
If everything we're doing is going to be here, possibility. Anybody around that timeline would probably be better equipped to answering those questions than spawns. Spawns only have they have the memory of them being turned by their sire, but they don't have access to the
grand
wealth.
Well, then maybe this Dominic will prove more useful than we originally thought. And just again, just because it's been mentioned more than a couple of times, please don't kill him.
As long as they sing the same, as long as they dance the same dance we are, we won't have a problem. The moment they decide to tango with someone else, then it'll be a problem.
Are you always so guarded with your words? We are just in my apartment. It's not like there are other normies who are going to hear you.
It's because we're in your apartment. Like, you're Chandler and I'm Joey, and we're just hanging out, having a good old time. We were just at a coffee shop 2 blocks away.
Listen, I'll be there for you too, but let's drop the cryptics, please.
God damn it. God damn it, that one got me. Just, I need you to stop underestimating me and this apartment.
I'm not underestimating you. I've yet to see anything you do. So how can I underestimate nothing?
Although, to be fair, Aaron, I do want to say, as a stranger to your apartment, and she looks around, have you swept recently?
It's on my to-do list.
Now we can
There's no to-do list for security. Have you swept recently?
No.
And Sharon immediately starts taking the phone off the receiver and starts pulling it apart with like a mini screwdriver she seems to pull out of nowhere.
Guys, I'm retired. Nobody cares whether I'm around or not. Nobody's going to tap my phone.
Somebody did. And they tapped you back in.
Okay. You don't seem to understand the lengths with which Connor, I'm sure, was trying to convince the administrators not to bring me in. So I promise you, I'm not some focal point of some big conspiracy. You can calm down. You can take a breath.
Like I said, I trust you. I can't evaluate your skills until I see them. And what I've seen is you read journals, make a phone call, get really tense around the administrator.
Listen, when you live life on the run like I have, you suspect everything and everyone. You don't leave anything to chance. As she starts putting the phone back together. Your phone's clear at least.
Thank you. Fine. You want skills? I got skills. As we are preparing to leave for the bar, Aaron is going to dress up. Aaron is going to dress nice and a little provocatively. He's going to wear those jeans that make his butt look real nice. He's going to wear like a nice button-down black shirt, accessorize a little bit, do his hair up and be like, "Ready?"
Vincent's dressed like a pastor, white
Oh,
buckle underneath the collar. The shirt again looks like it's sitting about an inch, almost 2 inches away from his chest, but there's definitely something solid underneath it. Buttoned all the way down to the wrist, silver belt buckle, black pants. The shoes look like dress shoes, but they are in fact boots.
And Sharon has changed into a, I suppose politely calling it an evening dress would be a stretch. It's literally a strapless tube dress that goes from chest to barely covering the thighs. And she's changed into a pair of slightly smaller heels, but they're still quite tall, probably close to 4 inch, but they're still a good sized heel in a silver color to go with the black dress. And she has a like a hunter's green over her shoulders.
Okay.
And she grabs a purse that's, you probably wouldn't expect her to even carry something this small. It's like, well, I'm ready when you are.
great. Oh, when we go in there, let's not group up. Let's,
Be outside.
we don't like each other, so we don't have to pretend like we do.
I'll be outside.
Good.
All right. How are you all going to get to the Midnight Society?
I'm taking a cab.
Okay. Are you all taking a cab together, separate?
I'm definitely separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ew. Yeah, separate cab.
Definitely separate. But instead of taking a cab, Sharon's actually going to take a bus.
Take a bus. Okay.
Public transportation for the win.
All right. Could I get a read a bad situation roll from Sharon, please?
Hey. Oh, what's that? Plus,
If you're using Roll20, you can click the button. Otherwise, it's whatever.
It's plus sharp.
Yep, plus sharp.
okay. Oh, that's actually not bad. Okay. That's 8 plus. That's a 10.
That is
Nice.
a 10. Awesome. So with a 10, you notice that as you get onto the bus, there's some commotion going on the back of that end of the bus. And you're used to kind of rowdy Thursday night, Friday night activity on the bus, but this seems extreme. Even for Chicago. Even for right before Halloween. You can ask up to 3 questions about the situation.
Okay. All right. I think the first question would be, what's the biggest threat?
The biggest threat you can see is a couple guys in the back seem to be just beefing. They are angry. They're right to the point where they're getting ready to throw hands.
The hands have not been thrown just yet.
Not
They're
quite.
just super agitated.
They're super angry. One of them's face is really red. Like, you can tell he's mad.
Okay. I suppose the next question is, what's the best way to protect the victims? I know nothing's happened yet, but I assume if they're getting angry, there's someone or something that they are aiming that towards.
They're both angry at each other. So,
Okay.
in regards to victims or people who are innocent standbys, most of them have moved to the front of the bus or are getting off as you're getting onto the bus.
Okay. And then I suppose, what's the most vulnerable to me?
You notice that there is an emergency brake line on the bus that you could pull in the event that something starts happening.
Okay.
What do you do?
I will how many rows of people are left on the bus of people who are not willing to get off just yet?
You've got about 4 rows sitting directly behind the bus driver. And this is one of those super long buses that have like the extended cab at the end that's kind of got the little twisty bit.
Okay. I'm going to sit in the 5th row just nonchalantly and just I'm going to sit sideways in the seat.
Mm-hmm.
So my back is up against the window.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see the crowd and the guys.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like you're going to be taking action based on the information you've gathered. So you will be getting a +1 ongoing as long as that information is still relevant.
Okay.
Okay. And the bus continues on. The bus driver looks rather anxious, a little nervous, because he does see what's going on in the back of the bus. But he seems too afraid to say anything to anybody. And as he makes the corner around the next block, one of the guys either intentionally or unintentionally loses his footing and delivers a right hook to the other guy. And they start to fight.
How hard are they fighting?
Oh, they're going
Like, are
all
they
out.
going for blood, or are they just wailing on each other with fists?
They are going all out. One of them does pull a knife, and
Okay.
his opponent gets stabbed, but he's not like, it doesn't phase him. He gets stabbed in the side, and it's not phasing him. He's continuing to fight.
All right. So, how far exactly has the bus gotten? Is it
Towards you.
just around the corner from where you picked me up?
We'll say a mile from where you were.
Well, okay. Um. So seeing him get stabbed, this is the point where Sharon's going to pull the emergency brake
Mm.
and tell the bus driver it might be a good idea if everyone leaves. And she's going to get up and face the men fighting.
Okay. Bus driver looks to you, opens up the doors, and instructs everybody to leave. Makes a call over the radio you can't quite hear, but having been in Chicago, you assume that they're calling in to have the police show up.
I'm going to attempt to use some magic here.
Okay.
And what I want to do is I want to two things. I want to use enough magical energy that the bus driver's radio cuts out. But my ultimate goal is to restrain both of the combatants.
Okay, so you want to restrain both the combatants?
Yes.
Okay.
And expend enough energy to interfere with the radio.
Okay.
And that's plus weird.
Yep.
And you get a +1 on this.
Yes, I do. 5 plus that is... So that's an 8 altogether.
Okay. So it does work as far as putting off enough energy to interrupt the radio call.
Mm-hmm.
But you're only able to actually restrain one of the combatants. You immobilize him so that he can't move, which happened to be the one with the knife.
Okay. And as I say that, I tell the driver, shut up and drive fast and wild, and try to keep them off balance.
Go ahead and roll for we'll say act under manipulate somebody.
Okay, that's plus charm. Oh, right, we don't like charm. Okay.
I don't like charm.
All right. Do I still have the +1 to this, or is
You
it...
still have the +1.
Okay. Okay. That's a 3 total.
Okay, make sure you mark the experience.
Yep.
When you try to get the bus driver to drive the bus, they actually bolt out of the bus. They just leave the bus and run out. And the man that's been stabbed and is not restrained, he actually picks up the other man up over his head and just throws him several seats forward on the bus.
Does he reach me?
No, he does not quite reach you. But
Okay.
the man that was carrying the knife or holding the knife is now seriously injured.
Okay. All right. Seeing that, I think I'd like to attempt another act under pressure, and
Okay.
I'm gonna try to drive the bus myself.
Oh.
Or I could try to use some magic instead to achieve that same effect.
Which direction, which way would you like to do it?
I think I'm gonna try to use some magic to get the bus to drive.
Okay.
Keeping the destination in my mind of still trying to end up in the vicinity of the bar. But with the goal of keeping the not restrained guy off balance so he can't really continue to beat up on the restrained guy.
Okay. Since you already have another spell going, that's going to take away your +1 on this roll.
That's fine. That is a 10.
A 10? Okay, you manage to hold concentration on restraining the other guy, and you're able to drive the bus using magic. It's very erratic, which is what you were trying for, but you are running into vehicles. You are causing damage as you're driving through this Chicago street. But nobody sees who's driving the bus because obviously there's nobody in the driver's seat. I am going to need an act under pressure roll as well, please.
Okay. That's 6 minus 1, that's 5.
Okay. You actually knock yourself off balance and end up losing concentration on the magic that you're focusing on. So both the restrained individual and the bus have lost their magic. So the bus kind of careens to a stop, hitting a vehicle in front of you, and you hear what was the restrained man groaning in pain. And as the bus comes to a rolling stop, the man that was stabbed and threw the other man runs out the still open doors on the bus.
Okay, and there's no way for me to just like trip him.
You've lost balance.
I have lost balance.
Yep. So you are on the ground as well.
All right.
All right, and with that, we're going to jump over to Aaron and Vincent. Vincent manages to get to the bar a little bit quicker because he just bounced out and jumped right into a taxi. What do you do as soon as you get there?
As soon as I get there, similar to what I did in front of Aaron's apartment, small little glass ampule, drop it on the floor, stomp and break it, and then I stand over the broken glass, waiting. And as people walk by, just, have a blessed night. Enjoy yourself. May God watch over you. Like the whole charade of the priest outside of all the bars next to like a military base. It's like, be safe, God is with you. That's what I'm out there doing.
Okay. Um, you do notice that a few people avoid walking over or touching the mat.
I clock them. And they're walking into the club.
Mm-hmm.
I am committing their outfits and faces to memory.
You John Wick motherfucker.
Okay. And Cujo.
I'm just waiting for the detective to show up.
Okay. Aaron, you pull up in your cab and you see that Vincent is standing out front, and you get the whiff of consecrated olive oil smashed to the door in front.
Peace be with you, son.
You realize it's a paranormal bar and you just put a target on your back, right?
Are they gonna hit me?
They might.
That'll be a fun night.
Aaron is going to take his hair down, kind of fluff himself up a little bit, and then step inside, playing the part of a foolish mortal who's looking for a good time as he goes to get a drink at the bar.
Okay.
Do we see the magic school bus?
We'll come back to that.
Why does it have wings?
Anyway. Aaron, as you enter into the bar, you recognize some familiar faces, including Dominic's from behind the bar. He catches your eye. He sees that you see him. And he kind of gives you his roguish half smile.
I'll lean against the bar but face away from him and just kind of like survey the scene, but stand in a way that's like, you come to me, I'm not coming to you.
Dominic finishes up and walks over to you. And he's a 5'8", mocha-skinned man. Didn't think I'd see you around here.
Oh, well, figured a night out on the town could have been fun.
And it wouldn't have anything to do with Connor being in town, would it?
No, that is dead and gone.
That's what you said last time you came around.
As I recall, it wasn't really much of a problem that night, was it?
No.
Well, regardless, are you going to pour me a drink, or are you going to have to card me first?
You and I both know neither one of us need to be carded.
At this point, Aaron will fully turn around and like lean on the bar, put on the charm, that sort of thing.
Okay. There's a lot going on down here.
Is there? Do tell. I always love the hot gossip at the paranormal bars.
And as he's telling you this, he's still smiling. He's being very outwardly looking like he's having a good jovial conversation with you. but when he's speaking to you, it's actually, you can hear in his voice he's a little uneased. To my regulars, they got into it last night.
Just what, over what, some college boy rolling into town? He looked scrumptious enough. What was the problem?
Don't know. They have never been the type to be aggressive. They would never hurt a housefly.
Interesting. What happened?
I had to take him outside and kick him out of the bar.
All right. And there was nobody saw kind of anything that started an argument or anything?
Not anything that we're aware of.
Whereabouts were they in your bar? Just, for a curious cat like me.
The third table from the stage.
Okay. Well, who were these two regulars of yours?
He gives you the name of a fae and a revenant.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Not the usual blokes that go off and have beef with one another.
Have they showed up since?
No, we haven't seen him.
All right, well. Well, I mean, I might have some means of looking into it if you want, but,
I'll cover your tab.
Thank you. And, unfortunately, my place might not work tonight, so just, putting that out there. And he's gonna meander over to that table and just kind of do a real quick once over while looking as casual as possible.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an investigate a mystery.
Investigate a mystery.
That's
Okay,
a
so
sharp
this is
stat.
sharp.
Yep.
Do I have any moves that can help with that? Probably not.
Also, in a case like this, if you manage to roll a 13 or higher, you can ask absolutely any question to me as the keeper.
Okay. Okay. That is a 11.
Okay. So you can ask two of the hold questions.
I would like to start with what is being concealed here.
What method are you using to investigate?
I don't imagine that Aaron is very good with magic. But I imagine that there's a little bit of an empathicness to him.
Okay.
Not enough that he can tell exactly certain things, but if he touches something, he might be able to get some vibes from it.
Okay.
But again, nothing super major.
Vibe
Okay.
check.
Vibe check.
Okay.
I'd like to roll a vibe check, please.
touching one of the chairs, you're able to get a sense of just immense unbridled anger. Just all of a sudden it makes you want to punch the person next to you. It's not active in that moment, but like you can feel that anger.
Aaron's gonna quickly pull his hand back.
Okay.
Okay. My second question.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give. What? Damn it. uh. It'll probably be just an explanation of what the bartender already said, but what happened here? This time I'm going to see if I can touch the table.
From touching the table, you feel a sense of there was another person there, based on how the chairs were sitting and just how things were kind of the vibe of the table and how it was laid out. There was another person here.
There were 3 people at this table.
There were 3 people at this table.
Okay.
But the fight only involved 2.
Okay. I'm going to approach Dominic again and just say, were you the only bartender that night?
Love, you know I always am.
I'm just asking because I don't know if you're starting to hire more people. You don't have to get all spicy. And you don't... There were only 2 people there.
Yeah, there were only 2 people there.
Hey, this might be a little regular. Have you had a break yet?
And since when have you known me to take breaks?
Oh, come on.
Fine. I'll be right back.
Okay. As he walks away, I'm gonna hold on to that rubbing of the fucking, I can't talk, Mayan inscription in his pocket just to confirm that it's still there, and he's gonna try something with Dominic when he gets back. He's going, I don't know if I can harm it. I don't want to tear off a piece or something. He is going to...
Are you trying to use an artifact, or are you trying to...
I'm trying to use an artifact.
The artifact
to help
is
Dominic.
Okay, the artifact is not the rubbing. The artifact is the journal, remember?
Oh, bitch tits.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Notebook from War of the Worlds, Berenstein Bears, Dakota
Okay.
Ring, and the dog
Wait,
tags.
I picked up something else, didn't I?
It was...
Sorry, bitch tits is on the bus still.
You grabbed the Notebook.
The notebook. Okay.
Yep.
Then I'll hold on to the notebook and just prepare to try to palm it into Dominic's hand to see what happens.
Okay.
I love doing things that make the GMs of games go, hold on. And then they turn away for a moment to rethink.
Let me check this real quick.
Okay. So Dominic comes back up. What'd you have in mind, love? We can always go to the back room.
I would never turn that down. You know me.
All right. So Dominic just kind of loops one finger into your shirt button and pulls you towards the back room.
I just as a little moment, I want to glance at the door to see if Vincent is peeking in.
Is Vincent peeking
Just-
Nope.
in? Okay.
He's been clocking everybody who's been avoiding him, like avoiding that area he's in, and just keeping note. And he's keeping an eye out for the detective.
Okay. All right.
Whatever.
So you head into the back room.
I want to. Obviously, I'm not gonna get explicit or anything. I want to
Mhm.
lure him in
Mm-hmm.
so that I can palm that journal into his hand.
Okay.
However long that takes.
All right. Go ahead and roll a manipulate someone for me, please.
Okay, and that's gonna be through charm, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay. +1. That is a 7.
Okay. Dominic lets you put it into his palm, but he kind of gives you a quizzical look. Is this a new sort of kink for you, hon?
I'm just trying something. I read about it online.
This internet thing, I don't think I'll ever understand it.
You don't have to understand it. I just pull him right back in.
Okay. And what were you hoping that this would achieve?
I was hoping to see if it would restore any memories that have been tampered with him.
And how are you going to test that?
Oh God, this is gonna get weird. Aaron's going to ask about details about the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything Dominic saw, as a I don't know. Oh God, this is weird. As a means of hinting that it might turn Aaron on hearing about some of that shit.
So how did he punch him?
Yeah, pretty much. Kinda.
Mm.
What
Okay.
did it look like as his muscles stretched forward to punch that guy in the face?
I mean, I told you already. We don't know.
Oh, come on. You can spice it up a little bit. Like, was there a third guy?
No, like as I said, there was only 2 at the table.
Damn it. Well, he'll just pocket the notebook and then just enjoy the rest of his time
Okay.
with Dominic for a
While
little bit.
we'll cut away for that.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut away for that, and we're gonna jump back to Sharon and Vincent. Vincent, you now see this bus that's careening all over the road, bouncing back and forth, and it comes to a stop about 2 blocks away from the front door of the club.
Did it pass the club or
No,
before the club?
Before the club.
Okay.
And it just careens and then starts to kind of just do a sliding, slow roll into a pole that's light pole that's on the side of the road there. But you don't see a driver.
Must have bailed.
All right. And Sharon, what do you do?
I mean, I didn't fall unconscious or anything. I was
No,
just knocked over.
you fell over.
Sharon is swearing up a storm underneath her breath, completely embarrassed at how she lost control over the entire situation.
Okay. You're doing it under your breath?
Yep, under her breath, and
Okay.
she is going to try to get a look at the other guy to see what kind of condition he's in. The guy that's still on the bus.
Okay. The guy that's still on the bus is definitely going to need some medical attention.
Okay. Let's see.
He's not
Um,
in dire care, like, or dire need of like assistance, but he is going to spend a night in the hospital.
what kind of clothes is he wearing?
He would be wearing baggy jeans, a t-shirt over a ribbed AT.
Okay.
And he was the one that pulled the knife.
All right. And the other guy is I got stabbed left.
Mm-hmm. He ran off the bus.
Okay. What do his injuries look like?
He definitely got hit on the head. It looks like maybe he fell on the knife when he fell, and so he's got a cut in his abdomen as well. He may be suffering a broken leg.
Okay. So what? He says a baggy t-shirt. How baggy is it? Is it like 3 sizes too big, or is it only like slightly baggy?
Baggy jeans.
Oh, okay, baggy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're not talking the jean dress that they did in the 90s.
Oh God.
Sharon is going to, best as she can, tear a strip of the t-shirt
Mhm.
and sort of like wad it up and sort of like take the guy's hand, hold it over where the cut is,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to dial take out her phone, dial 911,
Mm-hmm.
and just drop it next to the guy. It's not the phone she had earlier. It's a different phone. It's actually a flip phone.
Okay.
And she's just going to drop it next to the guy
Okay.
and walk off the bus.
All right. You do that, and as you do that, Vincent, you see Sharon walking off the bus that just crashed into a light pole. What do you do?
Is she approaching?
Sharon, are you walking towards the Midnight Society?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I still have a gold mine.
Seem to be having a hectic night. Many blessings unto you.
And also with you.
And with your spirit.
And do you go into the club?
Sharon actually hesitates for just a moment at the door. And she just sort of like dead looks Vincent in the eye, steps over the mat, and walks away towards the bar.
It's not on the mat. It's directly underneath Vincent. It's directly underneath him.
See, I'm not gonna use bad knowledge. She's just going to assume you've done something at some vicinity in the door and try to step over it.
Good call.
That's
And
fantastic.
you walk into the club, and as you do, the detective comes walking around the corner and walking up.
I reach into my pocket and pull a rosary out, wrapped around my hand.
You must be Brother...
Vincent.
Vincent. Ah, yes.
How are you doing, Detective? Did you received our phone call from earlier?
Yes, yes. Um,
Extend a hand out to shake his hand.
he reaches out. It's a very sweaty hand. He's a heavier set, older gentleman. Um, you can
As he
you can tell
grabs
he's
it.
yeah. You can tell that he likes to drink. He's got the telltale signs of somebody who's yeah.
As firmly grasp the handshake with the rosary between both of our hands. My other hand is going to grab the back of his elbow,
Mm-hmm.
look him directly into the eyes, and I say non momentia, and I'm going to cast a spell.
Okay.
He didn't even flirt with me first. Weird.
I know, right? Didn't even
Where's the
really
spellcasting
try
coming
anything.
here? You always flirt first.
Yeah.
That is an 11.
Okay. And what are you casting?
So non momentia, thou shalt not lie in Latin.
Hmm.
So he's going to answer 100% honestly for the next minute.
Okay. When you use that, the detective looks to you and like, I would have told you the truth regardless.
Neither here nor there. What information do you have from the TIA that they reached out to you as a contact?
I am, for lack of a better term, a mole for the TIA. I've had run-ins with them in the past. They pulled my bacon, so to speak, out of the fire. And since then, I've tried to help them on matters like this.
What's the matter at hand?
Well, the part that I'm dealing with directly right now is a 4,000% increase in violent crime. And we don't have enough people to patrol the streets.
Do you have any leads? On this side of the veil.
There's a few potential options that we're dealing with, but we shouldn't discuss about this out here.
No one's going to get close enough to hear it. I want you to forward all of that to Sicarius in New York.
Give me a contact and information. I'll be sure to do what I can when I can. Even a detective like me has been stuck with a beat as of late.
I'm sure you can get to it tonight if you can meet with a pastor in front of a bar.
Well, somebody happened to tell me that I should expect a call from you.
Vincent, well, he hasn't let go of the handshake with the hand of the back of the elbow. He'll release the back of the elbow and pull the rosary onto his wrist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make sure it's snugly on there. Any and all information from this side of the veil forward to Sicarius. We'll do what we can to help you out.
Well, I would appreciate that.
I'm sure we have at least a handful of agents nearby. That's not just myself.
All right. Well,
Also,
yes.
if I ever fit the description for anything, you just can't find me.
Of course. That's usually how it works with the groups I'm working with. Now we should really get off the streets so I can discuss this matter further.
We'll go to the alley that leads to the back of the bar.
Okay. And with that, we're actually going to call it for tonight's session.
Whew.
All right, everyone.
Still didn't see you do nothing.
I don't know what you're talking about. That back room is nice and private for a reason.
All right, everybody. Thank
Always
you
arriving in
all
style.
for watching the first session of Ghost of the Lost. I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves once more and tell you where you can find them. And we will plan for our next session in 1 week's time. So we'll start with Vincent.
Hello, everyone. Vincent. But normally, Ark or Arc-like Court, your lighthouse keeper, lore writer, beacon onto all beacons. You can find me all over the internet at Arc-like Court. The best way to keep up to date with me is on Instagram at Arc-like Court. I stream on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, doing all sorts of random nostalgia-based things.
Thank you. And Sharon.
Hi everyone, I've been Sharon. I am Gene_Wolffire on Instagram. You can find me usually in Ark's channel as the Auntie moderator. But I'll be working on hopefully making some Pokemon themed content soon in the not too far future. So keep an eye out on my Instagram for that, and catch you around.
All right, thank you. And finally, Aaron with an A.
Yes, I am the AA Ron. Hi, everybody. I'm Cujo. You can find me at Cujo Plays Games and at Crit Hit Chronicles. Cujo Plays Games is just my personal ramblings and weirdness. So if you like pro wrestling and weird ramblings, then definitely check that out. But if you need D&D and tabletop RPG stuff, Crit Hit Chronicles is where I typically play. Right now, we're just streaming on Thursdays with a sponsored stream from Kobold Press for Tales of the Valiant. So if you're into some 5e fun, definitely tune in for that. Otherwise, you can see me Wednesdays over at Nerd Immersion playing Lost Mines of Phandelver. And other stuff that will come up in the future when I can announce that stuff will come up in the future. But yeah, until then, find me there.
Yep, awesome. Once again, thank you, everybody. Yes, the VOD is going to be up and available. And I'm going to edit this down a little bit and put it up on my YouTube channel. Once again, if you want to review some of the case files that the party is or the team has gotten, you can look at them there. That is also the website that I post future updates. TIA is going to be an ongoing story for my campaigns, which means that the outcome of this campaign can have long-lasting impacts to the world that I'll be creating. Once again,
So many people are going to hate Vincent.
Oh,
once again, thank you, everybody, and thanks for making this first stream awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone have a great night.
finger guns.